If there is actually an inverse correlation, I'm not sure. We're going to go ahead and see that right now and find out how accurate this could be. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a COSM technicals, raw price action, and statistical threat of analysis on this Taco Tuesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, team. So yeah, this is a little strange here that we're getting a massive downside on COSM paired with this huge upside on the spot price action of the the ETF, the IWM iShares Russell 2000, and also please take a look at your futures contracts, right? The micro E-mini Russell 2000. This is insane in comparison to what we're facing on COSM here. So that's I'm not even sure what to make it. But what I mean by let's go ahead and see if it tests inverse. We're about to face a resistance here that could be tomorrow, right? So 198.97 on spot price action IWM. This is the SMA 200 located there. That's an extremely difficult moving average to succeed. And same situation here. Go ahead and notice that just at about $2,005.60, that's going to be right where the micro E-mini Russell contracts are going to be facing this this resistance, right? So I expect a pullback from that area there, and in fact, I do expect a pullback from the broader markets as well around the same time. So since we're getting this inverse correlation here, let's just see what happens, right? It would be really something to see COSM continue to the downside here when this also favors the downside. That's, I don't know what to make of that, right? It would be extremely ridiculous to see something like that. And I'm already saying that I'm expecting a downside here because you can clearly see on both the spot price action and the futures contracts that there is a bearish divergence happening here, right? From literally from, I guess, from up here, right? You can see inclining price with declining volume, and same situation here, right? Declining volume, inclining price. So that is a bearish divergence all by nature, right? So yeah, so then we're gonna see this. So now as far as COSM on the 3-day is concerned, please go ahead and notice here that this could be a test of the bottom side of the Gaussian band, right? So since we broke inside of it, we never actually came back to test the very bottom side of it. So ever so slightly higher, right? But in here, I guess we're going to probably get the retribution and just test it ever so slightly lower. Now, I've been seeing some silly comments in Twitter and wherever else, saying things like I must be paid, like it's some kind of mystery. I've already released it. I've already released the video that I am, in fact, a data analyst and statistical analyst for COSM, for Cosmos Health. So don't act like it's a surprise. I've actually mentioned it live several times. I mentioned it officially in a video. And I've mentioned several times that I'm not longing this myself. I'm not trading the asset because I'm literally hired by them. So stop being a smart guy, brother. So go ahead and notice this, and just to show you how far am I actually making this. Let's see. Yeah, I want to just show you how much I'm what is it, polishing the asset, I guess how you said it, right? Making it seem like it's something better than what it is. Well, I don't know about that, but let's just go ahead and take a look at this. And this was just about a week and a half ago, just so that you can be clear over what I said here, team. So just go ahead and listen to this. But this, this right here gets me even more bullish that we could face a downside here to 277 to 287, because usually when you start to get these capitulation events after a long time of consolidation, you get that huge downside event. That would be one wick as a spring to the upside, or what Wyckoff tends to call as a terminal shakeout before that up run, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at for ticker symbol COS. Well, what do you make of that, right? So does it seem like I was already talking about making it polished or whatever? No, I was talking about 277 10 days ago or 9 days ago or whatever that was. So yeah, just to kind of correct you there, and just to show you for the people who are feeling like I was just making this like as a pump play. No, sir. No, sir. So that's why we keep the logs. That's why we keep it recorded so I can show you, right, team? So go ahead and notice that I am actually going to express to you nothing but the truth. I do not care about your emotions. I don't care about your long positions, but I will tell you what could be happening for the asset based on the charts. And that's how it is, team. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be that person to express to you something that is not clearly shown in the charts, right? So if that's the influencer that you want, then I'm not for you, right? So if you're going to be here listening to ARCa, you're going to get the dead truth, no matter what. I don't care. I do not care, team. That would be price manipulation. That would be. I'm not going to manipulate anything, team. I'm going to go ahead and just say it like it is, and that's final. Okay, team, so let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here, because as you can see, yes, I was talking about a 277 target. I also expressed that it's hard to tell where things can go, because this formation here is, I mean, we're talking about a bi-monthly formation, first of all, right? This is massive. I'm not really, I don't understand why my watermark is not being shown right now either, right? But it should be shown. Yeah. So yeah, team, I don't know why it's not showing here, but this is the bi-monthly chart right here, and this is a bearish engulfing candle formation. It doesn't have it actually doesn't have a mathematical price objective or any mathematical properties at all. So this is all strictly psychologically driven. And you know, I explain to my master students often that when you start looking at candle analysis, anything upside of a month, then you're starting to get into predictive territory, right? So not so much forecast like I provide for you for the immediate short term, but when you start looking at macro timeframes like that, it usually tends to realize the way that it should be traditionally traded, right? So yeah, this absolutely happened. We were already looking at a potential downside target literally 9 or 10 days ago of about 277, and we reached 267 today, and we're currently sitting at about 270. Okay, team. So yeah, I didn't nail it in the head, but it was close. It was freaking close enough, and large enough of it was also a large enough warning too, right? So it's, I mean, we don't know when it's going to happen. This is relevant to I'm sorry, it's relative to a bi-monthly iteration. So anytime within 2 months it can happen, right? So it just so happened that it I guess it, yeah, the video was 10 days ago, right? So, but I mean, I wanted to release it with enough time, but to be very honest, I had already seen this about a month ago. But it's just that would be manipulation. A month ago, me telling you this, that would be manipulation, right? So no, I have to give it enough time to when it's pertinent. But anyway, team, let's go ahead and take a look at another chart, because I would like for you to feast your eyes on this, as it doesn't look as bad as it actually feels, right? Well, of course, we don't want to see our assets continue to the downside. That, I mean, when we have a large amount of shares within the asset, and we start facing a downside in a capitulation period like the way we face today, that's not fun, and it's not something that I'd like for anyone to feel, right? So this is why I decided to make a video today out about this. So hopefully I can help and find some clarity here, because I have found several things that are indicative of a potential support. First of all, the broadening descending wedge, or the right-angled broadening wedge here that we've been looking at for some time, it feels like it's trying to hold its support, right? So I'm not going to say that this is the bottom side. I'm not going to say that this is the end-all be-all and we're just going to move to the upside from here. In fact, I can't. Then the reason why I say that is because we have increasing bear volume with decreasing price action. That is traditional for a continuation to the downside. But I did find something very, very interesting, and something that absolutely shows a lot of power. Okay, so let me go ahead and have you look at this support zone, not for the 215 level, but for the 250 level. And why the 250? Well, I started studying this, and started studying it like really deeply. And I noticed something that the inner circle trader himself calls of fair value gap, and it's either a fair value gap, or yes, it's an imbalance, right? So fair value gap or imbalance is what I found here on an 8-hour iteration, and you can actually see it right here. This candle, this candle wick low and this candle wick high with a candle in between, this gap here, that is a fair value gap. Okay, so this would honestly be my area of support. Okay, so 250. Now, if it's not exact at 250, then we have another gap to look at in the 8-hour, right? So the top side of this gap here. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you a range here. So I'm looking at the potential of a support touch of anywhere between 235 and 250, but I would honestly favor 245 and 250 in spite of this massive fair value gap here. Okay, team. So I didn't see that before because I wasn't looking for fair value gaps or anything that could get in the way from bear pressure, right? So now that it is absolutely pertinent to the price action, then yeah, we would potentially see that. Now, what's also curious is that the broadening descending wedge may actually give us that answer too. And how though? Well, if you can see here that I was actually favoring several contact points to make this downside realize correctly, right? So if we favor these points now, what does that give us? Well, let's go ahead and try to connect them. And let's just say that we were to continue to the downside. This is an 8-hour candle here. This is an 8-hour candle here. This is an 8-hour candle here. Well, let's just say that we were to bounce from, let's just say, what is this? July, what date is that, team? What date are we even in, right? The 20th, right? We're on the 18th. So let's just say that it does bounce from the 20th or yeah. That gives us a space of 250 to where? Right at the bottom. Look at that, 245. So, I mean, I know, I get it. I get it. It's terrible to look at it like that. I don't want to see that either, team. Right. But there's a lot of confluence there and a lot of things that are suggesting that we could touch that area. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you something else that in that video that I just showed you in the link, that's indicative of what we're looking at here is indicative of something that Wyckoff theory calls as a terminal shakeout or a spring. Right. So that usually happens after a long time of consolidation. Then you get a liquidity trap to the upside and an enormous liquidity trap to the downside. And then from there, the bounce to the upside could be significant. Okay, so it doesn't happen all the time. And Wyckoff theory is literally based on theory, right? So a lot of people practice within it. I know a lot of traders who do have success trading the Wyckoff method, or it's just not my style. But this is pretty clear, showing that reaccumulation for a Wyckoff spring or a terminal shakeout. Okay, so and that usually has a heavy implication on short bias traders. Literally to the upside. It would be quite dangerous if I'm going to be very honest. Okay, team. So as the broader markets literally recover and start to recuperate their posture for the upside and a continuation to the upside, I can only see this as a final hurrah for the short sellers. Again, team, I don't know that that's in fact the final answer there, but I'm just expressing here what I'm seeing, right? And that's just pretty much all it is. I'm really expecting a continuation to the downside here, short-term upside, but very much limited. So we can actually see a continuation to the downside, literally from actually bouncing from the 270 to 270 to 278 zone rejection here, and then continue onwards and downward, right, and find that support eventually. By hopefully this week we can find that terminal bottom there, and then get that massive bounce to the upside. So I mean, that would be highly ideal, team. So I feel like I forgot to tell you something, and I really wanted to express something else, right? But if I don't, I'll just go ahead and share it on a post or something on Twitter. But for now, I need you to hold on just a sec. Yeah, I need you. Team. For now, let me just go ahead and say that please never take this as financial advice, right? Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever, okay, team? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.